Hey, welcome to Let's Eat with Russ. Today I'm going to show you how I make an apple pie. I already got my apples peeled and I already posted a video on how to do that quickly with a power drill. It's another video on my channel. So now that my apples are peeled, just use a simple apple core like everybody usually probably already has. If not, you can get one real cheap. And if you're obsessive about it, you can scrape off this extra little bit of peel. I don't think it's going to affect the pie much, so I'm not going to really bother. So once I get it into these wedges, I like the slices a little bit thinner for a pie. So I try to take one of these and basically slice it into thirds. So they're a little bit thinner slices. So I've got a whole bowl. Oh, and by the way, typically I buy about 3.5 pounds of apples. There's usually a little bit left over, but there's also usually a little bit of pie crust left over too. So I make little tiny like apple pie, little turnovers or empanadas or whatever, if you will, with the excess, just so it doesn't go to waste. So that's basically it. You just got to get your apples peeled, cored, and sliced. And then I'll show you the rest of the filling and how to assemble it all after I'm done getting these apples peeled. I won't make you, or rather sliced. So I won't make you sit and watch me do that. I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, so we got our apples all peeled and cored and sliced. About ready to start prepping the filling. So what we're going to do is take 2/3 of a cup of white sugar. We're going to mix in 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour and about a 1/4 teaspoon of allspice and about a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg and about a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. Those mixed in there, and so just take a whisk and get those combined. You can use a fork if you don't have a whisk handy. So once we got that mixed together, go ahead and dump that in all over our apples, and just kind of a little bit bigger bowl might have been easier. Just got to get them coated. I probably have too much apple filling that'll fit in this pie, but I also usually have some leftover crust, so I just make little kind of apple pie empanada turnover kind of things to use up the excess. They're nice as leftovers or just in little individual pies. And they're easy to make. So now that we got that pretty well coated there, we're going to dump in a teaspoon of vanilla extract and about 1.5 tablespoons of brandy. And since we got the brandy out, maybe the chef wants a little too. And again, just kind of mix that to combine until it's reasonably well mixed and all coated. Again, a little bit bigger bowl. Might have been a little bit easier. And there you go. I'll show you the rest of the assembly process in a minute after I get the crust rolled out and into the pie plate. All right, pie's about done. All right, so I got our pie crust 40 minutes after I dropped it to 350.
Video that I've already
So I'm going to yank it out and just show you the
general.
finished product really quick. So as usual, like I said, we're probably going to have more filling than we need, but I'm also going to have more crust than I need, so I'll make use of those things after I get this going in the oven. And there you go, homemade apple pie from scratch. Not going to cut into it right now. Apple pie. I gotta let it cool and all that. I like, and it's for tomorrow for Thanksgiving. Pie. Looks pretty good to me. Pretty sure it's going to taste pretty good. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. You can do your top crust where you slice it into strips and do the whole lattice thing. I like to do a solid crust on top of my apple pies. Just cut some slits in the top. I like the little star pattern. So that's about as much as I think I'm going to be able to fit in here. Just about. Maybe get a little bit more. And I know that the apples are going to make more juice as it cooks in the oven, but I still like to pour a little bit of this excess liquid into the pie. See, I got a little bit of extra apple there, but I'll use that with some extra pie crust and, like I said, make little apple turnovers or empanadas. So we got that done there. And then I'm going to take my top crust that I've already rolled out. Again, fold it in half and then lay it across and then unfold it. It's a lot easier. Try to get that. There we go. So from there, you can do a fork on the edges if you prefer. I personally just do the thumb move, as I would call it, and just kind of press the two top and bottom crusts together. Might not be quite as pretty as as the fork method, but I think it looks fine, and I feel like the thumbs kind of press it together a little bit better. And then again, we can tear off our excess crust that's dangling off. Now that I got that off, give this a little bit more of a thumb press to just make it all connect and stay together. And there you go. I'm going to get the egg wash prepped and show you that in just a second. Okay, so we got our pie ready to go. We just need to do the egg wash. And see if I can find, a butter knife will probably do. So you want to cut some slits in the crust so when it gets hot and it starts to kind of bubble over, it allows some of the steam to escape. I like to do a little star pattern personally. That'll do. And then this is just 1 tablespoon of heavy cream and 1 large egg yolk. I have another video already on my channel that shows you how to separate the yolk from the white very easily. So I just mix these together with a fork and then just take any kind of a brush. You could technically even use a folded up paper towel to do this if you don't have a brush handy. And just give it a good wash all the way across the crust. This is going to give you that nice golden brown finish on your crust once it's baked. And I have the oven already preheated, excuse me, at 375. And you're going to bake it at 375 for about the first 20 minutes, just until it starts to brown a little bit. And then you're going to reduce the heat to 350 for the duration, which is a little bit subjective, but it'd probably be about another, after you reduce it to the 350, probably another 30, 45 minutes. Again, it's a little subjective. Once it looks browned and looks like an apple pie and the insides are bubbling and hot, you're pretty much probably good to go. So I'm just going to get this coated, and then we're basically ready to pop it in the oven and get this thing going. It should come out great. Last time I did one, it sure did. Everybody loved it. Just get the rest of this guy covered here. I got enough excess I could probably slide some across. And there you go. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this in the oven. Like I said, the first 20 minutes at 375, then I'll reduce it to 350, and then give it another 30 to 45 minutes, and I will show you the end result once it's done. All right, pie's about done. I gave it about 40 minutes after I dropped it to 350. So I'm going to yank it out and just show you the finished product really quick. And there you go, homemade apple pie from scratch. Not going to cut into it right now, obviously. I got to let it cool and all that. And it's for tomorrow for Thanksgiving, but looks pretty good to me. Pretty sure it's going to taste pretty good. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.